All right, over here at the right side of the map is our Terran player, the favorite of the group. He's already up 1-0.
GUMiho.
Trying to make it 2-0.
FXO GuMiho.
There he is.
One of the better players on FX Open.
And here is his Protoss opponent. He is down 1 game. He needs to get this game, or he's going to be 0-2. Very important game for Sage. If he loses this, like we were talking about Zenio last game, if he loses it, he's in an 0-2 spot, which is virtually impossible to come back from. And
you basically just have to hope for other people to lose.
Exactly.
One example of this happening was Marine King.
Marine King, yep.
Yeah, and he was down 0-2 and was able to tie and then get in off of a tie.
Yeah, it was like a 3-way tie, and there was 2 sets of tiebreakers, and he barely made it.
Yeah, that's the only way. It looks like we're going to have a
though.
command center first from GuMiho on Belshire Beach, a very unusual map to see this on.
Yeah, and as you can see there, the map has been changed since possibly the last time you saw it.
Wow.
Where there's no high ground there, and Nexus first
versus command center first. Command center first is so risky to do against Protoss, especially on a map like this one.
Yeah.
And, you know, GuMiho must have just been studying Sage's play and decided, I think he's going to go Nexus first, because that's, even if he goes for a 1-gate Nexus, the pressure you can put on with the Zealot and the Stalker is so hard to defend.
Yeah, exactly, because you need a bunker, basically,
I mean,
to deal with Stalkers.
At least
Marines
he put his command center here to where the probe cannot harass. They've actually played against people on the ladder where they go for command center first, and I send my probe out to scout, and I see them, and I'm like, well, you actually just can't even finish that command center because I have a probe harassing you.
But he lets him in.
Oh, the probe actually was able to get in a big, well, I was going to say big mistake, but actually I think he did it intentionally to chase the probe with that SCV, because otherwise the SCV could poke at the probe could poke at the SCV whenever it's outside. And, you know, there's nothing else that's hidden from him to see. He sees a command center first. What else is there in the base to see a command center first?
True.
And a barracks.
Maybe he wouldn't have known that the barracks was there, man.
That's true. It could have been proxied, but now he's going to see. He also is going to see the tech lab.
No, it wouldn't make sense.
So he's going to be following this up with Marauders. So it's going to be kind of like a command center first Marauder expand.
Well, GuMiho actually doesn't have any information about what's going on in Sage's base right now.
Yeah, he's just now sent his SCV out.
The Marauder is kind of like, if you go command center first, you're not going to have enough Marines to chase around Stalkers to buy time for a bunker, so going for the Marauder first with concussive shells to deal with Stalker aggression kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, now he sees that it is a Nexus first, and he's going to go, oh, you know, actually my command center isn't even mining right now. I did get an extra mule off of it, but he's got his Nexus already up and mining, getting it saturated.
Probably going to float it over in just a second.
He's got to float it. Yeah, there he goes. Knows no real pressure can be put on him right now. He knows that only one Stalker is going to be out, and it's going to be out in just a second. Adding 2 more barracks here.
And he's going to have... Whoa, look at that. He's got two Marauders out with concussive shells about to finish, and makes a Reaper to follow up, to scout with probably.
Yeah, he wants to see with the Reaper, is Sage going to follow up with a 6-gate? Now, when these 2 builds collide, a lot of Protosses will go 6 gates and just attack, because it's hard for the Terran to defend that without stim. And if you go command center first, you're not going to have stim when that attack hits. So it's a really common follow-up to see. So he's got to send that Reaper into C, and oh my god. Look at the production tab. There's another command center being made by GuMiho. Stim started immediately as well. He needs to get that stim out to hold off timing attacks. He's actually starting to build somewhat of a wall.
Oh, wow. And he's actually putting pressure on with those 2 Marauders. I don't think Sage expected this.
I don't
and they have
understand
concussive shells, so...
I actually don't understand the decision-making of making another pylon in that same location, but he's going to make another pylon
He wants to make sure his Nexus doesn't get unpowered.
And here comes the Reaper into the main, and Probe's pulled immediately away from it.
And as the Reaper, actually, never mind.
Will not get any kills, actually. Oh, got one.
Got 1 kill.
He's like, no, Wolf, and he shot the probe and then died.
Well, I was really expecting, I was going to actually say it in anticipation of him doing it. As the Reaper draws the forces in the back, he attacks with the Marauders again, but he actually didn't do that. He could have gotten free probe kills with the Marauders, but he just pulled them back.
Yeah.
Although maybe he didn't want to get trapped by force fields, so that's actually fair decision to make.
Yeah,
GuMiho really bunkering up now.
But he bunkered up now. He only made 1 bunker. He made a full wall with his depots. But keep in mind, he was able to see with that Reaper that he's gone up to 3 gateways. He knows it's not a 6-gate timing attack. However, he does not know that a Robo is coming up, but he can assume either a Robo or Twilight Council is going up. It could be the double Forge build that we've seen from Creator Prime as well. But he knows, okay, I only need one bunker. I've got this third command server. I'm going to drop some extra mules from it. Probably going to take a gold base pretty soon, but right now I'm going to get my stim. My factory is on the way. I'm going to start teching up to medevacs. I'm just going to stick with these 3 barracks right now. He's actually adding a tech lab and a reactor so we can get 2 Marauders and 2 Marines at a time. Actually going to go up to 5 barracks here. He's powering up, getting ready for that third base that he knows he's going to have very soon.
Yeah, he's going to be putting on a lot of, well, able to put out a lot of troops here very quickly. And the way his command center is positioned, I think he's probably going to move out and try and take that gold.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then he's just going to be able to power out a lot of troops off of just those 3 bases with the gold.
Yeah, and he's going to have 5 barracks to do it on. Probably going to add a tech lab on both of those barracks as well. May add 1 tech lab, 1 reactor.
Yeah, he has his factory out as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see a starport pretty soon.
Double Forge is coming out for Sage. Sage is actually learning from Creator Prime here. This is a build that a lot of processors have started to do recently. I myself have started doing it, and I've won a lot more against Terran since I've started doing it because you can just out-upgrade your Terran opponent so well with Chrono Boosts with 2 Forges, man.
It's funny because it's something that we actually saw a lot like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like 4 to 6 months ago.
Tyler was doing it.
Exactly.
Adele Scott was doing it.
Yeah, everyone was doing this double Forge thing.
Oh, look at this. I like this. He's going to poke at this command server because the Observer is there. Oh, he actually blinks in. He commits to this, and he's actually going to maybe cause this to burn. Does cause it to burn. He's going to blink out. Is he going to get it? Gets it and blinks away right before the SCVs could repair. Beautiful move by Sage.
I think GuMiho was kind of like me. I mean, GuMiho and I both were like, oh, well, why is he attacking the command center? He's not actually going to kill it. Until it was too late, where he was like, oh, wait, he actually might kill this. And he said his SCV is a little bit too late to repair it because that was a little bit of a, like, at first it seemed like a silly move of Sage to concentrate his firepower on the command center, which he obviously couldn't kill in time, and then he just killed it. So I was like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, it was somewhat of a risk. He's actually going to attack this bunker and blink back his stalkers. Beautiful by Sage. Kills a bunker, loses nothing, losing only about 20 hit points on 1 stalker. Takes out the bunker, though. And now GuMiho's going to have to decide, does he want to make another bunker or not? He's actually remaking that command center. Looks like he wants to get rid of that Observer, too.
Now, this is a little interesting. So, Sage, he went for the double. Oh, he's doing some more harassment here. Takes out a depot and gets out with no damage as well. But GuMiho might have been fed up. He's moving out now. Now, Sage, he went for the double Forges. But usually you see that in conjunction with, like, Templar tech. You get Zealots and Templar and Archons and what have you, but he's actually getting Colossi now instead.
This is something that Creator himself actually does as well. He likes to go Colossi first, because when you see this type of tech, or you see only Gateway units at this point, it makes you want to lean towards Ghost tech. And you get those Colossi out, and you force your opponent to switch into Vikings, and then that's when you switch back into Gateway and you start getting those Templar out. Now, both players have destroyed the rocks. A third base is going up for Sage, not at the gold base, though, despite him destroying those rocks. And GuMiho can now lift his new third command center and land it to take that gold base that he's now cleared. And even though Sage did a lot of damage, GuMiho still controls the center of the map pretty well right now. But with that 1-1 upgrade that's out for Sage, he might actually be able to engage this just right. His Stalkers, though, are at the front.
Ooh, very close. Almost got his force fielded in.
Oh,
but
and
Sage
GuMiho is
right
actually
now.
realizing, I don't know if I want to fight this. He stims, decides to run away, losing a lot of hit points there for nothing. And Sage now has control of the middle of the map. GuMiho is going to be hard-pressed to take a third base.
Yeah, he would have wanted to float out and take that gold, but now he basically can't. He's sending a little bit of a drop around just to try and be a distraction.
But there's a probe to spot it. Sage doing everything right this game. Living up to the hype, I have to say.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
He's got pylons to spot for this drop as well, even though he knows it's coming. He's going to warp in around of Zealots most likely once he sees it. Will hold it quite easily.
And sending the Colossus in there will do the trick as well, assuming that he actually protects it. He might just lose
he actually
Colossus.
needs to pull the Colossus back. Does save it. Meanwhile, during all of this, GuMiho is moving forward with a very large army towards the third base, and there's only Stalkers here.
The Colossus aren't here to support. He's going to have to run away or lose all of his Stalkers. He does retreat.
He's going to lose this Nexus no matter what. There's no way for Sage to save this.
And here come the Colossus in from behind, but GuMiho can actually just run out the opposite way. But no, Sage sees it coming. He's
gonna
positioning
cut
his
him
army
off.
to cut him off.
And look at this. He's going to cut him off here at the pylon. And GuMiho has not a lot of places to retreat. He's actually going to pull back again, but he only has so much room to where he can pull back.
And he decides to fight. He can't go anywhere, so
No
he decides
charge
to
on
fight
these
it out.
zealots, but good force field trapping the
Oh,
entire army, giving it a
beautiful.
huge bear hug. But GuMiho decides to flank, hitting these Colossi with Vikings at the back. Stalkers blink forward to take out the Vikings, who will get the last Colossus, but Sage getting a much better trade here.
And one more blink forward should take care of those medevacs
Oh, the
as
Colossus
well.
is being hit by the Vikings still. He's actually not dealing with that last Viking.
Oh,
the
no,
Colossus
one
will be
Viking.
taken out.
He gets the medevacs, but in the meantime, one Viking is
Not
about
going to be shown, but is going to kill a Colossus.
up in the middle there.
Oh,
There it goes.
They both died simultaneously. But GuMiho does not have a very large army defending his gold base. It's not a planetary either.
No, he doesn't have an army, basically, and he made that an orbital. The Stalkers moving in here. Nice force fields, making it so he can't kite those Marauders away.
Nor
The
can he use the SCVs.
SCV's just hugging those force fields uselessly while they get picked apart by Stalker fire. And GuMiho may be going down in this game. Sage, at an 0-1 situation, might be tying himself up at a 1-1 in just a little bit here, because GuMiho does not have a third, although he did take out Sage's third.
But Sage is remaking his third base at the gold base right now. His 2-2 has just finished, but GuMiho has been able to match him in upgrades fairly closely. Right now he's at 2-1. He's just now starting +3 weapons and +2 armor, something that Sage has not started. He's not started yet, +3. He's actually going to poke forward at these depots at the natural of GuMiho right now.
Going for the kill
He
here.
actually may want to go for the kill. Yeah, it looks like he's going to.
Using Blink Stalker Micro to get back and take minimal damage on those Stalkers as he does more damage to the forces, but the medevac healing things up wins the day.
Force field's back. He may attack with the Colossus once more. He's still producing Colossi. He hasn't switched to Templar Archives just yet.
Which is kind of interesting, because in anticipation of the switch, Sage is already making, GuMiho is already making ghosts.
Yeah, he's got 3 ghosts on the way. He did have a few more ghosts for that fight back there, but he wasn't able to use them. Now this Viking and Factory simultaneously spot the remake of the third base. He does, however, know about the gold base at the same time. So he's actually just got so small of an army, though, he can't really afford to try to drop this third base. He can't attack the gold, but now that he sees the main army of Sage going for the Factory, he is going to go for the gold base.
Oh,
and Sage's units are out of position. He has no answer for this. He's right-clicked on the Nexus. Here he goes.
Sage is way out of position. He sends a few units in to take care of the probes, but he didn't go all in with that attack. His army kind of is delaying behind,
Yeah,
so
that
he
was-
actually didn't get that.
He was way too indecisive there. Now will not get the Nexus and will, in turn, actually lose several units. He's down about 13 supply right now, but it's about to be 4 base against 2 base, one of which being a gold base.
You know what I thought of when you said the remake of his third base?
What's that?
I was thinking, like, they made the third base back in like the 70s, and then like people like that base because it's retro, so they decided to do a remake of it. Now it's 2011.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you have to do remakes. A stim is completely avoided by that blink. These Vikings are going to kill a zealot.
The third base purists are like, no, the original was the best version. It'll never be the same.
Well, there's like those super hardcore third base enthusiasts who think that the base that was killed by the Blink Stalkers was the best.
They're like, the book was even better.
Well, right now, Sage is up 26 supply. He's got +3 on the way. It's almost done. A nice EMP here. It's a lot of these units, but he's going to engage anyways.
No.
Nice blink on top of those Vikings. The Zealots with charge surrounding the army of GuMiho. It looks like he has way too much here.
That was a mistake. He didn't have anything for those Colossus. 4 Colossus doing tons of damage. Force GuMiho to GG, and Sage has saved his position in his up and down group by bringing himself into a 1-win, 1-loss score.
And it brings GuMiho as well to a 1-win, 1-loss. GuMiho definitely the favorite of this group. And still, now isn't in a perfect spot. In fact, Puzzle now is actually in first place in this group.
Yep.
With the best chance of getting out. So Protoss fans rejoice. 2 Protosses doing quite well. And Genius is himself at 1-1 at the same place as GuMiho. Zerg fans out there, Zenio fans, gonna hope for a lot of things to change in the next few matches. For Zenio to have a chance, it's gonna have to be a tiebreaker for him to make it in.
In fact, the very next match is going to be Xeno versus Genius. So this is going to be Zenio's last chance to even secure the possibility of getting in on a tiebreaker. If he loses to Genius in this next game, then he is out. There's just no way he can come back.
Yeah.
Well, I think... Actually, I'd have to do the calculations, but
I think it's actually physically impossible for him to come back if he loses this
the
one.
way that their situation is right now with... yeah, it would be...
Because the other players would have to lose too many games. It would be like physically impossible for them to have that record. They couldn't... Like, everyone else has a win. So even if they all had 3 losses, he would have...
Yeah. No, you're right.
So
because everyone else has a win.
Yeah.
Good point.
So it would be impossible if he loses this one.
Pretty much.
We've got a little stat sheet here where we have all the wins tallied up. It's pretty awesome. They should actually show that on the cast, like when one person loses. They like put the camera on you, like putting the pen mark, like...
That would be a good way of doing it. We might be... Well, yeah. It'd be tricky to get some fancy graphics for that time.
I think it'd be cool, man.
It would be cool.
It's like Mole Trap always comes, even if you're not casting that day. You just happen to bring your paper.
I just bring my pen.
Mole Trap's like the guy who decides everything. He's like writing in the death note, except it's just for the up and down matches. He just makes the marks, and they have to leave. They have to go home. Well, our next match is going to be, like you said, Zenio versus Genius. It's his last chance. It's on Tal'Darim Altar, so a large map. You know, with what we've seen so far of Zenio today, he may try to do something out of the ordinary, but it's a large map. I don't think we'll see anything super weird from him. I'd like to see Infestor play. Fast Infestors, I think, will most likely be what we'll see. But we'll find out in just a second. The map is loaded. Zenio versus Genius. Zenio's last chance here.